I think so many of us do think of Mexican food as something we eat out. So Molly knows I have my favorite taqueria. It was closed for all of the pandemic and just reopened recently. And I can't tell you how many times I've gone there for chili rellenos and things. I just loved their cooking. But I also have found it's fun to experiment a little bit more at home. And I can do a lot of things with stuffed peppers. Maybe not the same kind of chili relleno, but I can do some pretty cool things with vegetables at my house. And so we could get to that Mexican kind of profile. You have some of the foods that maybe we don't know because we haven't experienced that region of Mexico or something, but you also have some of our favorites. So it's a little bit familiar and exploratory.
Exactly. I wanted to show you like a complete range of different foods that maybe you want to try it once, at least once, and then if you really like it, then you get hooked.
I love it. I love it. So you and I have been out on farms together a few times. We've looked at tomatoes and peppers and melons, and sunflowers is one of your favorites. But can you tell me, out of the foods that you list, which ones do you think really are critical that you like put a lot of thought and effort into picking the right kind?
Well, definitely peppers, because peppers are a legacy from Mexico. The first crop, came from Mexico. So we have a huge range of variety of chiles and peppers that could be fresh or dried. In the book, I give a complete description on each, but having jalapenos, serranos, habaneros from the fresh side, and from the dry side, guajillo, mirasol, ancho, and chile de árbol, or bird's beak. Those are the main ones that you need to have for creating sauces, adobos, salsas, and even condiments.
Okay. Gotta have lots of peppers, all the peppers.
Well, you know that when we went to the pepper farm, I was so excited about the peppers because I am truly a pepper nut. I have a small garden where I grow things, and pretty much I have every kind of pepper that you can imagine. I love, I love to try
You
different peppers. That, of course, my favorites are the hotter ones.
yeah.
But in my book, definitely, um, I offer substitutions, and then if you don't want to add the pepper, you don't add it, or you can remove the vein and the seeds so that it's not hot. But definitely peppers. In terms of the fresh ones, they truly give a very nice herbaceous flavor, and that distinct flavor on sauces. And then on the dry chiles, not all those chiles are hot. Like, for instance, the ancho is not hot, but it provides, a smoky note and a depth in flavor. So it's perfect, like for sauces, for adobos, for moles. And then combined with seeds like pumpkin seeds and sesame seeds and peanuts, then you make a whole new world of flavors and textures. So yeah,
I
the
think that
farm, honestly,
modification.
honestly, at the end of the day, any meal that you prepare comes from the farm. So if we didn't have the farms, we wouldn't be able to eat, because also I explained that on the book, on the different regions in Mexico. Of course, that there are regions that are big in cattle, but there is regions that are pretty much the breadbasket of
Hmm.
Mexican cuisine, that if that breadbasket didn't exist, then Mexican cuisine wouldn't be the way that it is. Like the Aztecs were big on vegetables because, they didn't have pork. The pork
Yeah.
was brought by the Spaniards after the colonization. So their meals were pretty much based on whatever they could grow on those chinampas and that they created, because that's another thing that they did. They invented the chinampa way of uh, having fresh produce, which was one of the main ingredients. That's
Mm-hmm.
why a lot of people thinks that Mexican cuisine is all about pork and beef, but in the reality, Mexican cuisine is all about the vegetables, because
Mm-hmm.
without the vegetables, we wouldn't have eh, that variety like pumpkin. Pumpkin was another of the produce that the Aztecs introduced to the New World. So flor de calabaza, the zucchini flower, because we eat a lot of flowers too,
Yeah.
that are part of that produce.
In gardening terms, we talk about the three sisters and the plants that the Americas had that other parts of the world didn't have, that were uniquely American, and American in the sense of Central South, all of the Americas, right?
Mhm.
And that diversity of a food palette really is very cool at what we can offer up to things. I don't know that a lot of us take time to think about that when we're eating. A lot of the time, just like we don't always think about farmers enough.
So pretty much, the farming is so important. That's why I have been so supportive of the farm and the farmers, and that's why I have wrote about a lot about it. And I am so grateful that you have invited me to all these trips, because they have been so educational and so inspirational. If you
That
want to
sounds
go.
great. I love it. I love it. I really have enjoyed the book and so loved catching up with you today. Thank you so much.